Welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We are reaching you live from Abuja. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Thanks for joining us. The federal government has promised to do whatever it takes in the ambit of law towards ensuring the full implementation of the Executive Order Number 5 aimed at creating wealth, strengthening the nation's economy, reducing poverty and providing job opportunities. President Muhammadu Buhari, who made the promise while inaugurating the Presidential Monitoring and Evaluation Council in respect of the Executive Order, directs MDAs to henceforth give priority to indigenous professionals in the planning, design and execution of national projects. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
The Executive Order 5 was signed by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2015 as an instrument to midwife a new beginning towards expanding Nigeria's indigenous capacity as well as transforming the nation's economy from resource-based to knowledge-based and innovation-driven.
The Presidential Executive Order Number 5, in essence, is placing our manufacturers, our entrepreneurs, our professionals at the very center of economic activity.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who is to chair the Monitoring and Evaluation Council, directed that henceforth consideration shall only be given to foreigners in the execution of national projects when appropriate authority certifies that such expertise is not available in Nigeria.
The federal government shall introduce margin of reference in national competitive bidding in contracts, in the evaluation of tenders from indigenous suppliers of goods manufactured locally over foreign goods. All MDAs shall ensure that for all consultancy contracts awarded to foreign companies, engineering drawings, necessary calculations, design, etc., are made available to their corresponding Nigerian partners towards local production of needed materials. Designs for all contracts, programs, projects, etc. shall be in English language before signing such contracts.
Ministries, departments and agencies have also been ordered to ensure that all professionals practicing in Nigeria are duly registered with appropriate regulatory bodies, while suppliers and contractors under national competitive bidding process shall disclose available local materials needed for the execution of the projects.
The Ministry of Interior shall ensure that the expatriate quota for projects, contracts and programs are granted according to the provisions of the Immigration Act and other relevant laws. This will apply where qualifications and competence for Nigerian nationals are not available or cannot be ascertained, which shall be contingent on training such a number of persons as may be required for the execution of the contract or project.
The Federal Ministries of Science, Technology and Innovation, as well as that of Justice, are under instruction to facilitate the early passage of the bill for the Executive Order 5 at the National Assembly.
I must say this is perhaps the best thing that has happened to the manufacturing sector of Nigeria ever. I believe that we are now set to create the kind of economy that Nigeria deserves and has always had the capacity to achieve. And we have everything. We have the market, we have the resources, we have indeed the talent to be able to do it. I'm so delighted that President Muhammadu Buhari has now exerted the political will to back up the growth of our industries.
The Federal Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation, where the Secretariat of the Council is domiciled, will be supported by the Strategy Implementation Task Office to facilitate the administration, implementation, monitoring and evaluation of provisions of the Executive Order Number 5. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the renewal of appointment of Colonel M.D. Dikio, retired, as interim administrator of the Presidential Amnesty Program for another one-year tenure. Colonel Dikio was first appointed in August 2020 and has, despite the challenges, been able to command widespread respect amongst the various stakeholders in the Niger Delta. The House of Representatives has passed for second reading the 2022 Appropriation Bill. This paves way for the commencement of intense engagement between standing committees and the various ministries, departments and agencies of government for the purpose of budget defense, as the bill is referred to the Appropriations Committee. House members, during the second day of debate on the general principles of the proposed spending for 2022, stressed that MDAs must be tasked to use released funds for the purpose meant, as that is the only way to ensure that government policies make desired impact. Meanwhile, bills seeking the establishment of North-West and North Central Development Commissions have passed second reading. And now to infrastructure. Contractors handling the rehabilitation and reconstruction of federal highways across the country must work assiduously to ensure safe and hassle-free journeys for Nigerians traveling for the Yuletide. Minister of Works and Housing Babatunde Raji Fashola said this at a meeting with stakeholders to fashion out ways to avoid road congestions and crashes attributed to Ember Month travels. Abdullahi Muhammad reports.
From representatives of major highway contractors to members of the road transport workers, tanker drivers and road transport owners, as well as the Road Safety Corps. Invited by the Honorable Minister of Works and Housing to put heads together in ensuring safe and traffic-free Ember travels. His first call goes to the contractors.
Construction is already taking place. And ordinarily, the contractors are usually more interested in continuing with their schedule of works rather than going to repair failures, because they believe they will get to the failure point in their main contract. So what we try to do is to get them to work out of schedule and say, while you are building the contract, what concerns the commuter is not the new road, is the one that he can't pass.
Then the stage set for the contractors to make commitments to Nigerians in respect to upholding their responsibility.
Not wanted to commend your effort of ensuring a free, safe road during the Ember month.
Thereafter, the Minister of Works and Housing put forward its assessment of damages to roads and highways across the country as a result of the excessive rainfall this year, with a resolve to complete ongoing palliative works.
That we have seen the damage done during the bad weather. It's going to cost us 75 billion. How much is in budget? So those are the engagements we should be having. Where are you going to find money?
The stakeholders agreed to work together for the benefit of road users. In Abuja, Abdullahi Muhammad, NTA News.
When you get to the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, the usual delays in check-in and boarding are no more. You want to know why? Latest applications and kiosks to enhance operations have been put in place. Aviation correspondent and Emmanuel Ayimiro checked in at the international wing to tell us more.
Before now, the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, used to process passengers through the common use terminal equipment, where each airline has a permanent desk. But today, the latest technology, known as the common use of passenger processing system, which enables check-in and boarding and reduces agent interaction,
has been installed. These long queues represent past experiences with the traditional common use equipment. With the common use passenger processing systems developed a few years ago, multiple airlines, service providers or other users are able to share check-in or gate simultaneously with ease.
Before, when we were using manually, there was a lot of queues. Now, after we start using Garissa, there is not too much queues, as you have seen. So the system is efficient.
My experience is good. They are doing great job and it's wonderful. So it takes more than 5 minutes, but it's okay.
Out of the 12 number international flights that we operate here, 10 have already queued into the new system. We have only 2 left, and we are in the process of engaging them too.
Another facility waiting to be installed at the Abuja airport is the common use self-service kiosk that allows for self-check-in.
In the next few weeks, all this will be in place in Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja.
Other international airports are also in line for similar upgrade.
Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, Kano, and Enugu. Some airlines are not back operating into Nigeria, you understand. So as they are coming, we keep uploading their system. But right now, almost all the big ones are on board.
Adoption of these new technologies by the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria is in line with the recommendation of the International Air Transport Association. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA News.
Let's shift our attention to health now. Prevention, they say, is better than cure, and regular eye check and public education is important to reduce the estimated 2 billion vision impairment and blindness around the world. Uche Ugochukwu reports that the 2021 World Sight Day campaigns for this with the theme, Love Your Eyes.
Mr. Okar, 62, has battled refractive errors for many years, but for his love for his eyes, he might have joined the estimated 0.78% of Nigeria's population with visual impairment and blindness.
After some time, I noticed that I wasn't really having my vision the way I'm supposed to. So I decided to come to the hospital for proper check and for advice.
Vision impairment and blindness affects people of all ages, but prevalent among persons over 40 years, with cataract and uncorrected refractive error being the leading causes.
And there are very simple things to do, especially those that work with computers. We have this 2020 rule that if you're working with a computer, sometimes remove your eye from the system for 20 seconds. Look at a distant object to relax your eyes muscles. And also, we also advise people to protect their eyes, to eat good food.
The recent 74th World Health Assembly adopted resolutions that will assist member states and their partners in their efforts to reduce the burden of eye conditions and achieve the 2030 universal health coverage.
So the government's role here, apart from providing the platform for continuous education, is providing facilities and then training of the health personnel to provide the care.
World Sight Day is observed annually on the second Thursday of October. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
Thanks, Uche, for that report. With me in the studio to provide more knowledge about care of the eye is Dr. Adesua Agbontine. He is the chairman, Guild of Optometrists Directors of Nigeria. So thank you for joining us on Nationwide.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right. We all know the importance of sight to an individual or to a personal life. Now, as Nigerians, are we really doing enough when it comes to taking care of our eyes?
Oh, I can tell you that we're not doing enough. Most Nigerians only go to eye clinics when their conditions are at the tail end, when they have very serious condition. Ordinarily, you should go to your eye, see your eye doctor regularly, once a year. You don't have to wait until you have serious eye conditions. So we're not doing enough at all. That's the reasons why we are creating awareness through all of these programs, World Sight Day events and all of that. So we're not doing enough, I can tell.
All right, as individuals, we are not doing enough, but the facilities that we need to also use, are they there? Are they in place?
Yes, like you see, I am the chairman of Guild of Optometric Directors of Nigeria. It's a body for all private eye clinics in Nigeria. We have all over this country, private clinics that individuals have set up, and they are very well equipped, and they are ready to take in patients and attend to patients. So I would say that yes, in that respect, there are facilities that are well equipped to attend to patients. Of course, there are also public facilities as well, but the private is well spread all over this country.
All right, so where is the missing link now? Is it that people are not really getting education on why they need to take care of their eyes, or what? Since the facilities are in place.
It's the education as a major problem. People do not realize that, like I said before, people think that the only times they need to see an eye doctor is when they have a problem. Usually by the time you have a problem, a lot of times it's too late to see the eye doctor. What we advocate is regular eye check. You can make it a routine to check your eyes once every year. That way you'll be able to catch problems that would have caused blindness or visual impairment. So regular eye checks is the key to being able to prevent all of these problems.
All right, looking at the causes now, why do you think people are, using glasses, self-prescription? Some they will have eye problem and they resort to using anyhow glasses. So what do you think are responsible for this?
Yes, sometimes people think that the only reason why they see their eye doctor is when they have glasses, or they don't even need to go. Some people don't even go. They go to roadside. They go to, you can see people hawking glasses on traffic junctions.
Sure.
And people just buy, and then that's all they do. But that's not enough. You are supposed to do eye exams, because there are problems that could crop up, even though you can still see clearly, but you'll be having, you have eye problems that are developing in your eyes. So it's not just enough for people to go and buy glasses from the wayside. I can assure you that if you go to an eye clinic, a proper eye clinic, before the doctor gives you the eyeglasses, he would have done eye exams, look at the back of your eyes, do ocular exams, and he'll be able to determine if you have any eye problems or not, and initiate measures of management.
Okay, but some attribute this to the cost of treatment. A layman will tell you that I don't have money for medical checkup. I cannot afford what the bill they are giving me, so I resort to doing this.
Yeah, I will look at it from two perspectives. The number one perspective is that it's not as expensive as people really think it is. That's one. And number two, people have enough money to do other things. You buy new clothes, you buy new shoes, you buy new cars. But when it comes to taking care of your eyes, it becomes very expensive. And these are the things that you need to use all your life. I don't think so. I just think it's more of priority. One of the key things that World Health Organization has said this time is that we should prioritize eye health. That means you should take out time. And in fact, the theme for this World Eye Day is Love Your Eyes. It's like taking personal responsibility. Take out time to go and check your eyes. Take out time to attend to whatever your doctor has said. So people need to take personal responsibility for their eyes, not to say it's too expensive, because really, you need to take care of your eyes. Your eyes are priceless.
It is priceless indeed. Thank you so much, Dr. Agbontine, for coming to enlighten us on sight issues here on Nationwide. We appreciate you.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Yes, I've been speaking with Dr. Adesua Agbontine. He is the chairman, Guild of Optometrist Directors of Nigeria. This is Nationwide. We take a pause here to join Lagos, where Ruth is standing by. Hi, Ruth.
Hello, Norlene. Caution must be the watchword while deliberate measures to protect the nation's critical information infrastructure must be fully implemented as Nigeria takes further steps to explore the promising world of digital economy. This admonition is the major takeaway as a two-day multi-stakeholder sensitization workshop on cybersecurity wraps up in Lagos. Adeni Taiwo reports.
Deciding to launch its own digital currency, e-Naira, in coming days, Nigeria, through the Apex Bank, is placing itself squarely in the mainstream of digitized economy. Haji Arikia Mohammed is the Director, Information Technology Department at the Central Bank, and the day 2 of the multi-stakeholder sensitization workshop on implementation of National Cybersecurity Policy 2021 provides a good platform to make a strong case for the protection of Nigeria's critical information infrastructure. She told me that the Apex Bank is taking measures to ward off cyber attacks, build confidence in the digital currency, and would want other operators in the finance sector to follow suit.
The wallet itself is downloadable from stores, which have gone through rigorous testing. We've also carried out several penetration tests, stress tests, and several other kinds of tests. It's not sufficient that you are protected as an entity when you have a lot of interconnectedness with other entities, other players in the ecosystem. So we need to have them also protected, at least are there to reach a certain standard.
While acknowledging the growing integration of Nigeria's socio-economic lives into virtual space, other papers at the workshop harped on the need for adequate protective measures.
Establishment of a sub-sectoral CSAT is critical and cannot be overemphasized. Do not wait until the negative happens.
So when you take somebody's phone, if you see the kind of applications that are on that phone, that he doesn't even know what to do with it.
The workshop, organized by the Office of the National Security Advisor for Key Institutions in the Finance and Capital Market, targets full implementation of the National Cybersecurity Policy and Strategy 2021. In Lagos, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
While the Nigerian Navy is strengthening its capacity to protect the country's territorial waters, it is determined to ensure that this mandate is achieved without compromising morals. The indispensable role of moral vividly explained the place of an ideal imam within the Nigerian Navy setup. Michael Olaleye reports.
If the Navy exists to safeguard maritime assets and counter any threat, where exactly is the place of an imam within the ships and the weaponry? This conference, organized by the Naval Directorate of Islamic Affairs, tends to extray the discourse on the roles of an imam. The Chief of the Naval Staff, in his message, acknowledged the hazardous environment in which an average personnel operates, which increases the chance of being exposed to physical, spiritual, and mental challenges. But the existence of an imam ensures that personnel are morally guided through certain obstacles.
It is important to reiterate my mission as the Chief of Naval Staff, which is to epitomize the deployment of the Nigerian Navy in the performance of her constitutional roles. It is gratifying to note that the imams have key roles to play in actualizing this mission as the moral and spiritual sentinels of the Nigerian Navy.
With the theme, An Ideal Imam for the Nigerian Navy, the training also seeks to isolate some of the attributes personnel under the Naval Directorate of Islamic Affairs must exhibit henceforth.
He must be self-aware and should have a positive and growth mindset. Above all, he must jealously guide his relationship with Allah.
Within the standards operating procedures of the Navy, imams do not just safeguard the moral of personnel, but relieve the oppressed.
The conference is trying to address who is that imam that can creditably perform this role with the appropriate deliverables in the interest of the nation and the service in particular.
The training is one of the periodic exercises of the Directorate to improve the capacity of officers to effectively achieve their mandates. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
We pause here for a break. Nationwide continues with Abubakar in Maiduguri.
Federal government through NPHCDA commenced phase 2 vaccination of all persons 18 years and above with safe and effective COVID-19 vaccines approved by WHO and certified by NAFDAC. special arrangement has been made for staff, their dependents and retirees of ministries, departments and agencies of government, private corporate organizations and non-governmental organizations. To benefit from this special arrangement, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng/corporate vaccination/ to obtain, fill and submit the Google form. NPHCDA will contact you within 48 hours. Protect yourself, your family and your workplace against COVID-19. COVID-19 vaccines are free, safe and effective. For further inquiries, call 0700-220-1122 or send a mail to covid19.vaccination@nphcda.gov.ng. This message is from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency.
The Intra-African Trade Fair, IATF, is a key event that provides an unrivaled platform for African buyers and sellers to meet and explore business opportunities from the African continent and beyond. This year, Nigeria will again take part in the Intra-Africa Trade Fair in Durban, South Africa, from the 15th to the 21st of November 2021. This event invites Nigerian businesses to participate and showcase the best of our manufacturing talents, whether in the production of goods, cosmetics, fashion, agriculture, or digital technology. Grab the perfect opportunity to make valuable connections that will take your business to the next level. Register now to participate and showcase the best products Nigeria has to offer. Log on to www.nepc.gov.ng and let's showcase the best of Nigeria at this year's IATF event in Durban, South Africa, from the 15th to 21st November 2021. Africa is talking business. Be part of it.
Manchester City return from the international break with a tricky tie against Burnley at the Etihad Stadium. Will they get their desired victory? Find out this Saturday when Manchester City take on Burnley on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Good evening and thanks for staying with us on Nationwide. This is NTA Maiduguri Zonal Network Center. United Nations Development Program, in collaboration with Borno State Government, has disbursed additional 84 million naira to over 2,000 beneficiaries in Banki Town, Bama local government in the second phase of the exercise. The disbursement exercise was flagged off by the United Nations Assistant Secretary General, who is also the UNDP Director for Africa, Ahuna Eziokomwa, supported by Governor Babagana Umar Zulum and other officials of the UNDP. Mohamed Goni completes the story.
As it was the case in the first phase of the cash disbursement, each of the over 2,000 beneficiaries in the second phase received 40,000 naira, bringing the total cash disbursed in Banki to 168 million. Beneficiaries of the cash disbursement were full of praises to the United Nations Regional Stabilization Facility and the Borno State Government for restoring their means of livelihood and the pledge to use the funds for the purpose intended.
For livelihood is so tough. The buildings are up, but they need the software. We need to be able to bring opportunities back to the people. I see hope in the faces of the people who are here.
Reaching 2,000 heads of household can translate to nothing fewer than 10,000 families that will benefit from this very important scheme. People of Banki have completely lost their means of livelihood.
District Head of Banki, Babashaw Arjunoma, appreciated the UN and the Borno State Government for giving hope to the people of the area through cash disbursement and the developmental project. In a related development, Borno State Government has distributed food and non-food items to 20,000 residents of Banki, comprising male and female beneficiaries. Each male beneficiary received a bag each of rice and maize grain, while each female resident received a fabric and 5,000 naira cash support. While in Banki, Governor Zulum inspected what remains of the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital Clinic, where he expressed desire of government to rehabilitate the facility and convert it to a comprehensive health center, and also visited Banki Primary Health Care Facility and FHI 360 Health Center, where he assured staff of the two centers of his administration's readiness to provide their needs. At the primary and junior secondary school Banki, the governor said, while government will not sack teachers, Those found to be incompetent will be required to go for further training and will continue to be paid while in school. From Banki Town in Bama local government, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
In line with its technological-based policing, as well as relentless efforts of protecting lives and property of the citizenry, Borno State Police Command has paraded 76 suspects in a night for committing various crimes, including culpable homicide and murder. The suspects were paraded at the force headquarters in Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, during a press briefing organized by the Commissioner of Police, Abdu Umar. The report. That was Haruna Adamu admitting that he has committed murder by stabbing someone with a knife recently in Maiduguri. When NTA News inquired why he was wearing a hijab meant for the female gender, the suspect explained that he had to disguise himself to enable him escape from Maiduguri. Other suspects in the police net also confessed the various crimes committed, such as rape, armed robbery, abduction, forgery, as well as being in possession of dangerous weapons, among other cases. While briefing the press on the command's level of preparedness in tackling all forms of nefarious activities, Borno State Commissioner of Police, Abdu Umar, maintained that adoption of scientific as well as technological skills are sacrosanct in tackling any emerging security threat.
I have told you that we are going to work in line with the vision and mission of the Inspector General of Police, IGP Alkali Usman Baba, and sincerely we are religiously abiding by those his mission and vision of ensuring that we equally, out of so many of his vision, introduce the first industrial revolution into our policing, crime prevention and detection.
Among the 76 suspects were 2 females engaged in theft and criminal conspiracy. And those are the latest stories at this time from Maiduguri. Dr. Nolin in Abuja for more wide.
And to judiciary now, the Supreme Court in Abuja has affirmed Professor Charles Soludo, the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, as the governorship candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance ABGA for the November 6th governorship election in Anambra State. Judiciary correspondent Vera Chingba reports that the Apex Court also returned Chief Victor Oye as the national chairman of the party.
The Court of Appeal sitting in Kano had quashed the verdict of Jigawa State High Court, which affirmed Jude Okeke as the national chairman of APGA against Victor Oye, who was duly elected. The 5-man panel of justices of the Apex Court, led by Justice Mary Peter Odele, in a unanimous decision, upheld the judgment of the Kano State Division of the Court of Appeal, which validated the primary election that produced Professor Soludo. Held that the appellate court was right in quashing the judgment of Jigawa State High Court that recognized a parallel primary election conducted by the Judo Keke-led faction of APGA. Justice Odele, who delivered the judgment, frowned at the action of the appellants, whom she said engaged in foreign shopping and attempting to mislead the court through multiple cases over an election that took place in Anambra State.
Judgment today is to the effect that that judgment is null and void and of no legal effect, both for lack of territorial jurisdiction. In other words, Jigawa State, cases in Jigawa State are tried within Jigawa State.
The matter was not proper before there is an abuse of process. We've all learned from it.
Well, the implication is that Chukwuma Soludo, who was not duly nominated as the candidate of the ABGA, remains the candidate of ABGA for the election of November 6th in Anambra State.
Justice Odele, while dismissing the appeal filed by Judo Keke for lacking in merit, awarded a sum of 1 million naira to be paid by him to ABGA and Victor Oye faction of the party. The former Central Bank governor emerged from the primary election organized by Victor Oye faction of the party. In Abuja, Viera Chimoba, NTA News.
A total of 13,243 terrorists and their family members have surrendered to troops of Operation Hadinkai in the northeast, while 19 kidnapped victims were rescued in different operations in the north central. The acting director, Defense Media Operations, Brigadier General Bernard Onyeko, who announced this at a news conference in Abuja, noted that intensified kinetic and non-kinetic operations led to the mass surrender of the terrorists.
A total of 13,345 terrorists and their families, comprising 3,243 adult males, 3,868 adult females, and 6,234 children have surrendered to own troops at different locations in the northeast.
Similarly, 40 bandits met their Waterloo in the hands of troops of Operation Hadarindaji in the north central and northwest.
The component of Operation Hadarindaji sustained its offensive actions against the bandit elements in the northwest. Because of the operation, no fewer than 40 bandits were neutralized, and structures we house their logistic elements were also destroyed.
In the south, troop of Operation Delta Safe Haven discovered and deactivated several illegal refining sites in the region. Improved funding and security agencies, patriotism and promotion of justice, security watchers say, will go a long way in reducing crime in the society. This is the unanimous view at a Peace and Security Summit on community policing held in Abuja. The forum provided a platform for security experts to chart a way forward on strategies for reducing criminalities.
We advocate for every citizen to be a watchdog, be security to your neighbor, your community and environment in this process.
I especially thank President Muhammad Buhari, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, for making the issue of national security one of the cardinal objectives of the administration, and for recently approving the sum of 13.3 billion naira for the sake of community policing in Nigeria. This is a welcome development that will boost the morale of the Nigeria police and all those collaborating with it.
The security job is not only for police or only for the uniformed people, it is everybody's business.
For community policing to remain effective in combating crime, experts suggest synergy among security outfits, improved surveillance within communities, and citizens' participation to fish out criminals in a confidential manner. Suleiman is in our Kaduna Center. He has more for us. Hi, Suleiman.
To Kaduna. Katsina State Government, in collaboration with the United Nations International Children's Education Fund, UNICEF, are working towards the return of out-of-school children in Kafur and Kankara local government areas of the state. Dauda Muhammad reports.
According to a recent survey conducted by UNICEF, over 700,000 children are out of school in Katsina State, with most of them in the 13 frontline local government areas affected by challenges of insecurity. This challenge and the COVID-19 pandemic have impacted negatively on the school enrollment gains recorded in the state, with Kafur and Kankara local government areas the most affected. The flag off of the Back to School and Dissemination of Behavioral Change campaign is targeted at enrolling about 200,000 children in the two local government areas of Kafur and Kankara during this new school session. Katsina State Commissioner of Education, whose message at the ceremony was delivered by the Permanent Secretary, Abdul Musa Dankama, assured parents that all necessary arrangements have been put in place for the safe return of students.
I'm assuring each and every person that they shall take their students, pupils, back to school to continue learning.
The hope is that with what we've had during the presentation by the Permanent Secretary, that the state government is very, very committed to ensure that they will identify all these children and they will go back to school.
The campaign is an initiative of UNICEF, Foreign Commonwealth Development Office,
in collaboration with the Katsina State Universal Basic Education Board. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
And Emir of Dutse in Jigawa State, Dr. Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi, says the new reforms being introduced in the nation's correctional services will help inmates change for the better. He stated this while inspecting the new Nigerian Correctional Service Custodial Center in Dutse. Ibrahim Belugunda reports.
The situation of inmates at the old Dutse Satellite Correctional Center was described by many as unfit for human habitation, leading to the call for the provision of a new befitting facility. As one of the champions of this call, the Emir of Dutse, Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi, commended the federal government for heeding to their call for new facility. He was particularly impressed with the introduction of skills acquisition and other educational training to help the inmate change for the better.
The minister obliged to our request, and today we are witnessing the tremendous efforts made by the federal government and the state government. I'm impressed by what I saw today. The cells are much more modern, more manageable.
Jigawa State Controller of the Nigerian Correctional Service, Garo Maazi Charanchi, says the facility accommodates both male and female inmates, a vocational training center, healthcare facility, among others, befitting a standard custodial center. From Dutse, Ibrahim Belugunda, NTA News.
More reports ahead with Nolin in Abuja after this break. Please stay tuned.
The Chief Resident Engineer and Project Supervisor of the Second Niger Bridge Project. The Second Niger Bridge Project is a project that has been conceived for a very long time, but it has finally come to life during this present administration. This project has a lot of socio-economic benefits, and it has impacted positively on the lives of the host communities, both in Anambra State and Delta State. The people are very happy. The host communities, they partnered with us because apart from the social benefits, indigenes are also employed on this project. We can see how their lives are being improved.
This message is from the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The broadcast media ecosystem is dynamic and requires continuous training for practitioners to perform optimally. NTA TV College JOS invites relevant officers to the following specially packaged training programs. Archival Management System in the Broadcast Media, date 11th October to 29th October 2021, 3 weeks. Intermediate Presentation Techniques, date 11th October to 22nd October 2021, 2 weeks. Digital Satellite, Microwave, and RF Technologies, date 11th October to 15th October 2021, 1 week. Advanced Broadcast Accounting and Auditing, date 25th October to 5th November 2021, 2 weeks. Photojournalism and Photography, date 8th November to 26th November 2021, 3 weeks. Transmitter Operation and Maintenance, date 1st November to 5th November 2021, 1 week. The course fee for the 3-week course is 130,000 naira per participant, while the fee for the 2-week course and the 1-week engineering courses is 100,000 naira only per participant, accommodation inclusive. The venue for all courses is the serene and secure environment of NTA TV College near Old Government House, Rayfield, Jos. For more information, please call 0803-314-4383 or 0806-980-9807. NTA TV College Jos, training you to be the best you want to be.
Manchester City return from the international break with a tricky tie against Burnley at the Etihad Stadium. Will they get their desired victory? Find out this Saturday when Manchester City take on Burnley on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 2:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
Thank you for rejoining us in Abuja. The inclusion of persons with disabilities in all spheres of the national life was the focus of the 2021 FRCN annual lecture in collaboration with the Albino Foundation. Abdul Malik Hassan reports.
We should remove all sorts of non-accessibility that will make them
participate actively.
Not a regular talk show, but a discussion yearning for the inclusion of persons with disabilities in public offices. When it comes to discrimination, they are among the worst hit, nonetheless not giving up on the long walk to liberation. Ishola Omotola is a person with albinism. The challenges she faces has become a strength, pushing her to advocate for inclusiveness.
We want our people to come out of shame. We want them to come out of inferiority complex and low esteem. We want them to be courageous enough to mingle with people, to interact with people, and even to compete with people and win.
Discussants here say leveraging on political integration is key.
World Health Organization report, about 29 million of the over 200 million of Nigerians fall within the category of persons with disability.
Country, the time have come not only for you to allow the space to be given to you, but for you to take the space.
Strong people, usually they are the worst hit as they get even more left out in the new normal that we're dealing with. But as I said, your fortitude and your resilience is very inspiring, and we encourage you to continue to even fight for more.
The attitudinal change is the key to inclusiveness. This attitudinal change is not just the government, it's all of us.
This may just be good news for those with disability, but implementation by the federal government would make their yearnings a reality. Abdulmalik Hassan, NTA News.
The usual velocity of disaster during its occurrence leaves much to be desired, and managing this disaster requires high-level collaboration from all stakeholders. Correspondent Ilyasu Aliyakubu examines the collaboration between National Emergency Management Agency and National Commission for Refugee and Internally Displaced Persons, which is now further strengthened.
Just as the saying goes, a tree, they say, does not make a forest. So does the management of disaster, which in many cases require applications of some level of sophistication to manage its devastation. NEMA and Refugee Commission have inaugurated a collaborative focal team to rise up to the continuous humanitarian challenges resulting from both natural and human-induced disasters ravaging the country. Director General of NEMA and his counterpart from the Refugee Commission advised the focal team to streamline modalities and pool resources together towards ensuring provision of urgent needs as well as sustainable recovery for persons affected by disasters.
This collective effort will enhance synergy between both NEMA and NCF RMI, leading to effectively delivery of our mandates while ensuring a frugal utilization of scarce resources.
The coming together of our agencies represent the recognition that only through the collective and collaborative efforts of all stakeholders can we truly provide effective and sustainable care and support to all our persons of concern and the vulnerable.
With the inauguration of the focal team from the two agencies, it is expected that all existing gaps will now be managed successfully. In Abuja, Ilyasu Aliyakubu, NTA News.
If you have walked away from anything lately, you cannot afford not working into the exhibition of artifact, art and craft you will see in this report. Only then you will realize and appreciate the strength that lies in Nigeria's multi-ethnicity. Charles Alpha tells us the rest of the story.
It is not only the beauty of what you see here at the International Arts and Craft Expo 2021 you will have to adore, but the tangible contributions each of these exhibitions make to the socio-cultural lives of Nigerians. Only 10 states are here showcasing Nigeria's depth of talents in sculpture, ornaments, and crafts. What the rest of the states have to show when the roll call is made by the National Council for Arts and Culture might beat your imagination.
The ordinary artifacts person who produced an item who nobody knows before now has now got the opportunity to have touched a new thing in life. So for us as an organization, we are happy that our platform is being used to network the strength of Nigeria to all over the world.
But beyond using the expo to network Nigeria's rich cultural heritage, there is a call for a reawakening, a return to the way of life of the people as it was before it was grounded by COVID-19.
We have to do this at this time, particularly. COVID-19 has kept everybody at home. And Nigeria should take a lead in Africa to show that we're trying to come out of it so that life can come.
If for nothing, organizers are critical the 2021 exhibition will be a major hallmark in Nigeria's cultural drive. In Abuja, Charles Alpha, NTA News.
The Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria is partnering the Nigerian Copyright Commission with technical support towards achieving its regulatory and enforcement mandate. Abdurrahman Usman Jibrila reports.
Like other professions, the creative industry is transiting from analog to digital, and this taking place fast, thanks to ICT. This technological advancement comes with its challenges to the entertainment industry, abuse of intellectual property and piracy, great disservice to the industry, so there is need for synergy to deal with the negative impact of this development. As a first step to discuss, the Musical Copyright Society of Nigeria presented 21 laptops to the Nigeria Copyright Commission to complement its effort in the clampdown on anti-piracy and blocking access to online contents.
To ensure that together we build that industry and we raise the country in its profile across the world.
We identified this as a problem that needed to be addressed, and so if every organization do the little that we have done, then NCC will have no reason to complain. They will have no reason, to stay aloof, but to do the needful and ensure that they are doing what they are expected to do.
While the laptops take charge of the online space, an 18-seater bus was added up to take care of the streets on the anti-piracy war. Abraham Osman Jibrila, NTA News.
Next is sports news.
The University of Ilorin, Kwara State, venue of the 6th National Youth Games, is now agog as over 5,000 athletes from 36 states of the Federation and the FCT converged for screening ahead of the commencement of the Games on Friday.
Everybody was cleared. The issues we are having are usually in soccer, athletics, and some other sports, but we are definitely coping with them.
Team Ekiti emerged champions of the 2021 NYSC Sports Festival, which ended midweek at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, after beating Team Anambra NYSC 1-0 in the final of the football event. In athletics, Onwunda Mary of Team FCT, with a time of 12.65 seconds, won the 100 meters women's event, while the fastest man of the festival is Abidoku Emmanuel of Team Delta, who ran a time of 10.30 seconds to win the 100 meters men's event.
The fiesta is also aimed at strengthening national unity and integration through the interactions of the youth.
Chad has qualified for the football final of the ongoing Organization of Military Sports in Africa Maiden Chief of Defense Staff Sahel Games in Abuja. Chad held 9-man Nigeria Armed Forces team to a 1-1 draw in their second match of the competition to garner 4 points, while Nigeria will fight for a third-place finish with only 2 points from 2 matches.
Really so hard, difficult and tough, especially in front of Nigeria, one of the great nations of football in Africa.
Still on football, Sunshine Stars of Akure beat Niger Tornadoes 3-1 on day 3 of the Prince Dabo Abiodun pre-season tournament, while Remo Stars defeated MFM FC by 3-2. Meanwhile, Basketball Players Association of Nigeria has kicked against the decision of the Federation to conduct election of the Federation in Benin City, Edo State, come 30th of October, citing non-inclusivity amongst other reasons.
We want to call upon all the stakeholders and whoever is in charge to come in and weigh into this crisis. The crisis is not gone.
Olaleko Kela Jolu reports that efforts have been made at different quarters to reconcile disputing parties in the MBBF. That's Sports Update. I am Kenan Ima Abudike.
The sports update there concludes Nationwide today. Thank you for being part of it. Do remember to join NTA to fight against rape and rapists. I am Nolin Ebel Ame. Have a good evening.